Welcome in along with Mike Renner. I'm Steve Palazzolo, and this is your Jachai Polite NFL Draft Profile, all powered by PFF Edge and Elite. All right, Mike, we get Jachai Polite, a guy that really had a great breakout season on the field in 2018, looking like a first-round hopeful, and then had a disastrous offseason with the NFL Combine and his pro day. How much do we need to weigh that? How much of an impact is that going to have, his offseason testing numbers?
Yeah, they actually, in my mind, and I think in our data that we've seen in the past, have a big impact because during the season he played very light. He probably played in the 230s, it looked like, and then he tries to add weight to get to the combine to, prove that he is an NFL caliber edge defender, because you can't play in the 230s in the NFL. You're just going to get owned. You have to be around 245, 250 at least, gets to that weight, and then just tests atrociously. It was bad weight. He could not feasibly put on that much in the short amount of time. And so that's worrisome to see if his body can hold that much weight and play in the NFL at 250 and still maintain that high level of athleticism, because he won with his athleticism at Florida. It wasn't, He didn't have a ton of pass rushing moves. He just had that burst off the line of scrimmage to get to the quarterback. But that's burst if you can't maintain it at 250 and you have to only have it at 230, it's just not going to work in the NFL.
Well, so let's discuss the on-field. When he was playing at what you're saying, about 235, you're right. We haven't seen a ton of those guys under 245 or so really have success at the next level. So even if he goes back to that weight, could he be a designated pass rusher? Maybe that's going to limit his every down ability, but even just the inability to win with power at that weight, that's tough to do against NFL offensive tackles, no matter how much burst you have.
That's exactly what it is, because teams' offensive tackles do not fear the bull rush when you're 235 pounds. You just can't move a 330-pound tackle. It's just difficult to do. They are big, strong, and very athletic at the NFL level. And so you can run around Colorado State's left tackle all day when you run, when you're as athletic as Jachai Polite.
Which he did about 8 to 10 times.
Exactly, and that's the other worrisome thing, is he was beating up when he did, a lot of his grade came in a handful of games against unathletic tackles. And yes, that has value in and of itself, but you have to win in a number of different ways, and he just couldn't at that weight. And it's a lot different doing the speed rush against Tyron Smith than it is Colorado State's left tackle. I just don't see it translating at this point if he can't put on more weight.
So that burst off the edge and his ability to get to the edge got him the number 4 pass rush grade among edge defenders in the draft class. That's a good thing. That's a positive. He's an okay run defender, but I also think that this whole weight issue is probably going to keep him off the field on early downs anyway. So now the question is, with the Combine, with the Pro Day, we're at PFF, we talk about production all the time, but this was your job interview. This is where you were supposed to show up and crush it. After the bad Combine, he got worse at Pro Day. His testing skills, we saw that from former Gator Tease Tabor a couple years ago. Bad trend for the Gators, by the way. But how concerning is that, just as an overall, why are you getting worse at a time where everybody gets better at their pro day?
That is the other thing. It's the preparedness. If you're not prepared to go and perform at your best at the biggest job interview you're ever going to have, I'm not sure how you're going to be prepared Sunday to play against NFL caliber talent. So a lot of red flags behind him. To me, his pass rushing grade is no different to someone's like Sutton Smith from Northern Illinois, where he played at about 230 there, and it's just not going to translate to the NFL when you're playing at that weight. We're projecting him to linebacker because you just can't play at that weight in the NFL. When you face a better tackle, when he faced even better tackles at Florida, he disappeared for longer stretches at a time. It didn't happen as well. So with all those red flags, you're just not going to be a first-round talent, not even going to be a second-round talent for us.
Let's skew positive here. What's the best-case scenario now for Polite, based off what we saw on film, and where maybe he can get his weight to really translate to the next level?
Well, I think it just goes back down to his playing weight. You slim him back down and then build from there and say, hey, if you can, feasibly, if you can develop pass rushing moves at 240, and we've heard Von Miller say that he's played at 240 at times in the NFL. Von Miller pretty much on another level athletically than any other linebacker, though, so no real comparison there. But people can do it. If you can do it, give him that shot, but I still am skeptical of him being able to maintain.
Looking at Jachai Polite as more of a designated pass rush type, got to sort out the body weight and get that burst off the edge back. It's your Jachai Polite 2019 NFL Draft Profile, all powered by Edge and Elite.